Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Yeonni. I just wanted to say a quick announcement before we dive into today's topic of antisocial personality disorder. I wanted to say a quick announcement on my upload schedule. After all the happenings of this past weekend, I was able to sit down, kind of go through your comments and suggestions on where to go forward with my channel, and I think I put together the best upload schedule that I could think of for the future of this channel. So I will be uploading 3 videos a week: Mental Health Mondays, Let's Talk Wednesdays, and Free For All Fridays. I'm super excited to make these videos and get to know you guys more, and also really talk more and delve into these important topics together on my channel. So that is the announcement, and let's get straight into this week's video. So today I wanted to talk about antisocial personality disorder because clearly this is a very big topic right now on YouTube, and there's just a lot of confusion around it. So I wanted to start off my mental health series by doing some of my own research and talking more about the specific disorder. Before I start any of my mental health videos, I want to put in a quick disclaimer right here. I'll put it on my face right here. While I am a mental health professional, these videos are solely for educational purposes. They're not meant to be used to self-diagnose or to diagnose others. They're not meant to be used in place of actual face-to-face individualized mental health therapy with a licensed professional. If you are in need of mental health services, please contact a licensed professional, or if you're in a mental health crisis or emergency, please call 911. Now, when I start my mental health videos, I want to start with the DSM-5. So what is the DSM-5? This is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual on Mental Health, on mental illness or mental health disorders. I forgot the last part. But this is pretty much the American Psychiatric Association's Bible to existing mental illnesses and mental health disorders. So the DSM is very important when talking on mental health, because this pretty much kind of tells you how to diagnose someone who's exhibiting symptoms that could be a mental illness. I start off with this book, but I'm not going to end with this book, because as a social worker in our education, we were taught to think about the biopsychosocial of a human being. Biopsychosocial is the person isn't just his or her diagnosis. This book is great. It's extremely helpful. I have it in my office as well. However, this doesn't define who a person is, because so while the DSM is very useful, I don't use solely this when I talk about mental health, because it covers more of the psych part of the biopsychosocial of a person, but it doesn't really take into consideration the biological, genetic differences that a human could have depending on their ethnicity or the way they're born, or even like the social aspect of a human being. We're all raised in different ways, we're all raised in different environments. There's so much to a human being than just their psychological symptoms. So antisocial personality disorder is a personality disorder. There are multiple personality disorders. There are 3 clusters of them, so 3 groups of personality disorders, of which I will be diving into in future videos. But today specifically, we are talking about antisocial personality disorder, which is in the cluster B. So the antisocial personality disorder is a pervasive pattern of disregard for and violation of the rights of others occurring since the age of 15, as indicated by 3 or more of the following symptoms. So if someone is at least at the age of 18 and has shown at least 3 of these 7 symptoms since the age of 15, and these behaviors don't only happen during like different kinds of disorders such as schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, then they can be diagnosed as having antisocial personality disorder. So the symptoms are as follows: failure to conform to social norms with respect to lawful behaviors, as indicated by repeatedly performing acts that are grounds for arrest. Number 2, deceitfulness, as indicated by repeated lying, use of aliases, or conning others for personal profit or pleasure. Number 3, impulsivity or failure to plan ahead. Number 4, irritability and aggressiveness, as indicated by repeated physical fights or assaults. Number 5, reckless disregard for safety of self or others. Number 6, consistent irresponsibility, as indicated by repeated failure to sustain consistent work behavior or honor financial obligations. Number 7, lack of remorse, as indicated by being indifferent to or rationalizing having hurt, mistreated, or stolen from another. So those are the symptoms, according to DSM-5, of someone who could have antisocial personality disorder. So I put my DSM-5 down and I've done some of my own research. So according to my research, antisocial personality disorder is one of the most reliably diagnosed personality disorders, but it's notoriously difficult to treat for many different reasons. So there's this widespread belief that people diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder cannot be treated, but with more and more testing and more case studies, it has shown that in certain cases, those with antisocial personality disorder can be treated. Many with this diagnosis do not seek treatment, either because they don't want it or they don't know that they have antisocial personality disorder. Some evidence-based treatments that have been able to help with the treatment of those with antisocial personality disorder include cognitive behavioral therapy. CBT it's a lot to go into with this specific video, so let me know if you would like a separate video on CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. So this is something that I found interesting. So you can only be diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder if you are at the age of 18, right? So if you're under the age of 18 and you show these symptoms, they call this a conduct disorder. So conduct disorder is essentially kind of like the baby version of antisocial personality disorder. So a treatment that has been shown to work is when an individual shows symptoms of conduct disorder, so like a minor shows symptoms of conduct disorder, you get the family involved and you use family therapy to help the individual cope with these symptoms. So most treatments that have been used to help treat those with antisocial personality disorders have been mostly psychological therapy. However, there's only a small number of high-quality treatments that have been conducted and recorded. Something that you guys were interested in is comorbidity. Comorbidity means when someone has more than one diagnosis of a mental illness, and with those with antisocial personality disorder, research has shown that substance misuse is one that's very common, anxiety disorder, and also depression. So I know this is what you're all wondering, but where does the term sociopath or psychopath come in all of this, right? And interestingly, American Psychiatric Association does not consider sociopath or psychopath as a diagnosis. That doesn't exist in this book because they're not a diagnosis. They're more of like an extension, the extreme forms of those with antisocial personality disorder. So a diagnosis of antisocial personality disorder does not mean that you're a sociopath or a psychopath. It's only in extreme cases of antisocial personality disorder that there have been correlation with those who are labeled as this extension of a sociopath or psychopath. So now you might be wondering, what is the difference between a sociopath and a psychopath? Well, so according to my research, so people with both those labels, extensions of antisocial personality disorder, both lack empathy. But psychopaths essentially have no conscience, and sociopaths do exhibit having a conscience, but it's a bit weaker. So sociopaths know between right and wrong, but it might not stop their behavior. Sociopaths are more likely to show morality or a conscience. So I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but it's very important to say that not all sociopaths and psychopaths exhibit violence, as it is pretty prevalently shown in media. In very severe cases, they can be brutal, cold-hearted murderers, manipulators, all these things that we have seen in media. But most of the times they're kind of hidden within our society, climbing up the corporate ladder. CEOs, they can be people who you would never even imagine could potentially have this severe form of antisocial personality disorder. Another fact that I came across in my research that's very, very interesting that I thought I would want to share with you is that even neurologically, like the way that the brain looks in a sociopath and a psychopath could be very different compared to someone who doesn't have this diagnosis. So some studies have actually shown that psychopaths' brains, like their physical brains, formed differently than of a normal person. I hate that word, but someone who may not be a psychopath, which led to a potential of like impact of trauma potentially in their childhood trauma, like physical abuse or like parental conflict that could have kind of changed the way that their brains developed and formed throughout the years that could have led to them being potentially a psychopath in the future. There's also a thing called acquired sociopathy. Essentially, as the name sounds, some people's brains develop naturally throughout their life to show symptoms of antisocial personality, extreme forms of antisocial personality disorders such as sociopathy or psychopathy, but others can actually acquire those traits later on in life. And studies have shown that extreme trauma, basically a brain injury on your prefrontal cortex, which is essentially like right here where your forehead is, can lead to people exhibiting symptoms of sociopathy. So I thought that was interesting because I saw some comments, and it's a misconception that all sociopaths and psychopaths are born that way. According to facts and according to science, those kind of traits can be acquired throughout life, whether it's the psychopath's brain being developed differently from their childhood throughout their adulthood because of trauma in their youth, or whether it's the acquired sociopathy where you've had an actual brain injury or severe trauma that through the damaging and the rearranging of this part of our brain, you could acquire these traits of being a sociopath. Now, I know that doesn't cover everything, but like I said, if I were to delve deep into this topic, I would be sitting here for hours. If you would like a part 2 on antisocial personality disorder, where I dig up more literary papers and do a lot more research and share them with you, that would be great. Everything that I talked about in today's video, all the research that I've done, are from published literary journals and papers, and they'll all be linked actually in my description down below. So if you would like to educate yourself more or to learn more on this topic, you can do that yourself. I will be doing that with every single one of my mental health videos. I hope you're able to learn something new and interesting from today's video. I most definitely did, putting this video together. Thank you so much for watching and just allowing me to use this channel as a way to continue learning and to continue dialogue on this very important topic on mental health. I'm having so much fun. I literally, I felt like I was in school again putting all this stuff together for this video. Please like this video if you liked it, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. I hope you have an absolutely lovely day, and I'll see you Sunday with my Get to Know Me tag. Bye!